Cities XXL. If it had as many CPU cores supported as X's in the title, maybe then the game would actually be playable. XXL comes as an updated version to the 2013 XL Platinum, which was an updated version of 2012's XL 2012, which was an update of the 2011 XL, which was an update of XL from 2009. So maybe 5 versions later, they got it right with XXL? Let's find out. XXL starts with the map selection screen with a globe as the selector for map. However, in most cases, the box on the right hand side of the screen is where your attention will be focused. First thing you'll notice in XXL is its soundtrack. It's well made and easy to listen to, even though not my preference of music. Scale is a major factor in XXL. Maps are big in size and offer plenty of room for creation. This, added in with the multitude of options of roads, buildings, and utilities, gives the player free reign over large operations. Different types and levels of industry are integrated with one another, requiring some form of service from others. For example, heavy industry sells to manufacturing, that in turn sells into high-tech industry. All of them included require offices, which is also an industry building you must produce. This adds a requirement of balancing needs, seeing as if one becomes too much or too little, the costs change and can destabilize the market. Natural resources occur. Building an extractor uses up a section of that natural resource. Tokens are used as units for a resource, money, or people. Tokens can be traded for basically anything with the all-knowing evil Omnicorp. However, city connections with roads requires a spaghetti of outside connecting roads to increase your outgoing freight limit. At most times, you'll sell 20 to 30 tokens worth of a good. However, you only start with 20 as your limit from one road connection. Now that ends all the good and redeeming factors. XXL has more drawbacks than it has frames per second. Upgrading roads is slow and unintuitive, seeing as you must bulldoze the old road first and then replace it with no integrated upgrade tool. Conflicting alerts will confuse the player. For example, I was notified for a need for skilled workers, but then was notified seconds later with an unemployment crisis for the same skilled workers I was told to increase the amount of. Sometimes sound effects will play way louder than intended. XXL's game engine experiences stoppages. If the player places a large sector of zone, the entire game will freeze for multiple seconds. Graphics are terrible. Most cars are squares and rectangles, and a lot of the textures look like somebody dumped mud on them at the highest detail settings. Services and needs feel tacked on. Basically, place one every time you expand. No real balancing act. And finally, the worst part. Multi-core support in XXL, just like in 2009, is non-existent. 1 hour in, on my system, it dropped from 180 frames per second from the start to under 20, and becomes completely unplayable. This is because the game engine still doesn't support more than one CPU core, even though the developer openly stated on their Facebook page that multi-core support was going to be a feature in XXL. 5 versions later, the game is the same from 2009. It hasn't changed much. Each version of Cities felt like expansions or re-releases of the same title with slightly improved features. I have 4 of them, and they're all the same. For the love of God, don't buy this game.